Hello everyone and welcome to this tropical update. Before we get into the video, I'd like to make it clear that I'm not a meteorologist, and opinions shared are mine and are not official. It should not be taken as official. For the best information, please consult the National Hurricane Center or your local weather office. Fiona underwent an eyewall replacement cycle earlier today, and we can see that now that has completed, the storm does have a larger eye compared to what it was yesterday. Additionally, outflow from the storm is expanding more towards the west, and this is telling us that shear is a little weaker compared to what it was before. However, the environment for the storm is not perfect, as we can see that convection is weak over here in the northwest, and convection that is wrapping around the center there is thin. The storm is holding its intensity well at the moment, but this should not last forever, as weakening will have to begin at some point, and that is likely to occur sooner rather than later, with weakening beginning in about 12 hours as shear increases once again. This weakening should not be significant though, and the cyclone is still forecast to pass near Bermuda as a major hurricane. Due to that, there is a hurricane warning in effect for the island, and we can see that tropical storm conditions are already close to occurring along the island. This is what the 18Z GFS wanted the storm to look like at this time, and the model has the storm being weaker than it is in reality, but the wind field of the storm is similar to what the National Hurricane Center has, and tropical storm force winds are right here just off the coast of the island. These winds will continue nearing the island overnight, and we can see that the island does fall close to the hurricane force wind field. These strong winds will be pushing water ashore, and this will cause surf and storm surge. And the time for preparations are pretty much over at this point, and if you have anything you need to be completed, that should be rushed as soon as possible, as conditions are quickly deteriorating and will only get worse from this point on overnight into the early hours of the morning. Away from Bermuda, we can see that the storm is still expected to go towards Atlantic Canada, and right there we do have some alerts in effect with tropical storm watches all the way from New Brunswick to Labrador. Within that tropical storm area right there are some hurricane watches, and hurricane conditions are likely to occur within that area. The reasoning for this remains the same, as we still have a trough situated right here, a little over New England. And as we go further out in time, we can see that the cyclone begins an interaction as it begins a loop around that trough. And this pretty much sets up the path for it to barrel right into Nova Scotia as a strong extratropical cyclone. It can't be stressed enough how serious this storm should be taken, as even though it won't be considered a hurricane at the point it approaches Nova Scotia and surrounding areas, it will definitely be bringing conditions associated to a Category 1 hurricane. We can see here where the storm is shaping up to be a severe event for Atlantic Canada and eastern Quebec. The storm is forecast by a lot of the models to deepen it into a low pressure, and with that low pressure we have here where we have the likelihood of storm surge for parts of Nova Scotia, the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and western Newfoundland. Wind is also forecast to be severe, where most regions will experience some hurricane force winds. These severe winds will begin impacting the region late Friday and will continue on Saturday. Similar cyclones of this nature have produced structural damage to buildings. Construction sites may be particularly vulnerable, and wind impacts will likely be enhanced by foliage on the trees, potentially causing prolonged and widespread utility outages. Rainfall will also be significant, especially north and west of Fiona's track, where heavy rain could lead to flooding. The highest rainfall amounts are likely for eastern Nova Scotia, southwestern Newfoundland, and the Gulf of St. Lawrence region. Forecast guidance is suggesting widespread amounts of 100 to 200 millimeters, but closer to the path of Fiona, more than 200 millimeters is likely. Some districts have received large quantities of rain recently, and excessive runoff may exacerbate the flooding potential. Flood washouts are also possible. Surf will also be a problem, where for parts of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, large waves will reach the eastern shore of Nova Scotia from the south on Friday night and build to more than 10 meters. These waves will likely reach southern Newfoundland by Saturday morning. Some of the waves over eastern portions of the Gulf of St. Lawrence could be higher than 12 meters. The western Gulf will see waves from the north up to 8 meters in places, which will probably cause significant erosion for north-facing beaches of Prince Edward Island. For more information on your region, please visit the Environment Canada website, which I will link in the description. On the other side of the Atlantic, we have Tropical Storm Gaston, which wind shear is pushing onto the storm and it is causing the convection to be pushed away from the low-level center. The storm is expected to bend down south towards the Azores. We do have tropical storm warnings in effect due to this, and tropical storm conditions, excuse me, I don't know what just happened there with my voice, but tropical storm conditions are expected as the storm goes south and bends around the islands. That is all I have for today, and for the best information, please consult the National Hurricane Center or your local officials. That is all. I just repeated myself. But thank you all for watching. Have a good rest of your day.